Hi there, my name is Danny Wood and I'm going to be sharing with you different ways that I use to build the database. And one thing that's interesting with realtors is during a NAR survey, 66% of the sellers said they would use that real estate agent again or recommend to others. However, in the same survey, only 23% of them actually did. So what this means is realtors are having a difficult time with following up with consumers as the years go forward. And the main reason for that is because they don't have a system in order to stay in touch with people. So one problem is agents don't have a database or a CRM, or they have a big dirty database and have no clue who these people are. So I want to be talking about ways we can grow a database from scratch, and then also how you can clean up your database. If you don't have a database, you actually kind of do, because in your phone is all of your contacts. In addition to that, if you have Facebook and LinkedIn, those are all contacts and you can get all of them put into a database. How I did it was I went and got a new Gmail strictly for my new database. I have a database and I have an email, but I went out and I got a brand new Gmail, and the reason you may want to consider getting a brand new Gmail is because Gmail works with so many programs and apps. You can sync it with everything. So whatever you're using for your email, you can use a Gmail and have it when you send an email, it's going to come from your real email. So don't worry about being and looking unprofessional with having a Gmail, because when they actually get the emails from you, it's going to be coming from whatever your real email is. So I use Gmail, and then I connect it with Contactually. And what happens with that is, on Gmail, you can now send and receive emails right from your phone. So if you have an older CRM platform where you'd have to log into that database and send emails to customers so that all those notes get attached to the profile, well, you can actually do it now with Gmail. And when you send and receive emails from your iPad or your iPhone, it's going to get applied to that contact record automatically. So you're going to have, you can pull all the contacts right out of your phone and put it into Contactually. You can take all of the contacts that are in whatever database that you have into Contactually. And it is also going to pull all the contacts you have from LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all of the contact records, so you might have one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. It's going to merge them all into one profile. So maybe on your phone you have name and phone number, maybe in the database you got the email and address, and then within LinkedIn you got the other information. It is going to pull all that information together and merge them into one contact record. And one of the valuable things about this is when you do that, it actually pulls in the profile pictures of the people. So picture how easy that is for you to remember who they are. If you got 1,000 people or 500 people in your database, it's a big list of people, and you're going to have a hard time remembering who they are, the last conversation you had, and why you're actually reaching out to them. Well, with Contactually, when it pulls in the profile pictures from LinkedIn and Facebook, and maybe Twitter, I'm not sure, but it matches it up, and it makes it a lot easier for you to go down that list and know why you're calling those people. Contactually actually makes it a game as well for you to follow up with people. So, for example, when you start off, you'll probably be an F because you haven't started, right? And then it's going to take you through the process. So, example, if you're a D+, it will say, to get from a D+ to a C-, do these things. So it's constantly making it a game for you to follow up with your prospects and never drop the ball. Now, what's really easy about Contactually is in any database, you should be able to create a list. So you'll have all your contacts in that database, but you should be able to pull out certain contacts. For example, I want to mass email just my past clients, or I want to pull a list of all the sellers, or I want to pull a list of all the buyers. Well, with Contactually, it's really cool. You can make a bucket. So for example, I have one called handwritten notes. And anybody in that bucket called handwritten notes, if I haven't sent them a handwritten note, a personalized video, or a personal phone call every 120 days, it will remind me. And all the people that I do that with, it won't have to remind me because I already did it. So my dashboard is really clean and simple in the morning. It will give me the 10 or 20 people that I have to touch today and the reason for why. So say you have another bucket of FSBOs or internet leads and you want a quicker follow-up as opposed to 120 days. Well, you can make a bucket and name it anything you want and follow up every 30 days if they're a FSBO, or if they're an internet lead every 4 days. That way you have the possibility to connect with them twice a week until they're ready to get in a car or you actually connect with them. So you can make urgent buckets that are constantly reminding you, and then you can have long-term buckets that is just set up for you to, that stat I shared with you at the beginning, 66% say they would, 23% actually did. Well, if you have a simple bucket that every 120 days it reminds you to send a handwritten note, send a video, or make a phone call, that is a really, really easy way for you to consistently be in touch. Now, with Contactually, what's really cool about it is I can send a contact an email right from within Contactually, but then I can also use the drop-down and send a message through Facebook. So right within your dashboard, while you're making your contacts, maybe you won't have their email, but you have their Facebook profile connected. You'll send a message and it goes right to their Facebook message app as if you sent it through Facebook. But what's really powerful about this is that you don't have to go to Facebook, search their name, and send them a message. The other benefit to that is you don't have to go to Facebook, meaning you won't be wasting your time with all the distracting pictures. You can just bang, 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 do all of your lead follow-up, all of your prospecting, and get it done. The other main benefit to Contactually is underneath is you can track opens. So if I send a person an email and I want to make sure that if they actually get it, it will show me that they opened it. If they clicked on any of the links, so for example, if you have a house value page and they click on that link, that might be really good information for you to know that that person clicked that link, meaning they have interest in something that maybe you didn't talk to them about. And if there's a time-sensitive matter, you can check off replies, meaning if you send that person an email and they don't reply back to you within 7 days, Contactually is going to remind you that you sent this person an email and they didn't reply back yet. Maybe it's a time-sensitive thing and you are waiting for them to reply and they forgot. And then you're going to forget because you put it in their hands to reply to you. Well, this is a safety net for you to not let another week go by when you're waiting for something on somebody else. So this is what the dashboard looks like, and it will remind you of all your follow-ups. This is the game that it creates, so underneath it will have all the different ideas for you to follow up with people. If there's ever any duplicate contacts, it will show you who they are, and then you can choose to merge them. It's such a simple and intuitive system. I love it. I have a database. My database costs me $300 to $400 a month, depending. Some months it's a little different, but it's always $300. And that's a lot of money for a database. And I still use Contactually for my lead follow-up because it makes it a game and it makes it so easy. So most realtors will be totally perfectly fine with using Contactually for their lead follow-up. Another problem is agents are on the move and not logged in at a desk. Well, we're creating this app that works on phones and it's right in your pocket, so when you bump into somebody at an open house or at a barbecue or anywhere in the street, you're not actually logged into your database, so you don't actually add people to your database. Well, this is an easy way for you to create custom forms that will allow you to add people to your database and at the same time send them your contact information, for example. How we do that is we use Zapier, and you can use Zapier as well. Zapier is a program that you say, if this happens in this software, do this in this software. So let me clarify that, for example. There are hundreds and hundreds of programs that work, all the major ones. I mean, Gmail, Evernote, MailChimp, Wufoo Forms, Google Drive, Dropbox. Basically everything that everybody uses is within Zapier. So you can just search to see if the programs you have are in there, and if they are, you can create custom rules. For example, if somebody gets an email from you to your Gmail, automatically create a Google contact. So all the emails that you get within Gmail, it will automatically create a contact within Gmail, and now you can export that in the future. So wouldn't that be a nice automated way to grow your database? Now, these people didn't opt in for your monthly newsletter or anything. However, you still can build a list of who these people are and use those emails for remarketing purposes, or if you have permission to put them on a monthly newsletter, then go for it. But this is a safety net to at least capture the information. Another example would be every email you get to your Gmail, automatically add them as a subscriber to MailChimp. Now, you don't want to actually do that if you don't have permission, but you can create your own rules and you can manage that. And this just takes the automation. Like when you get an email, do you have to copy and paste it and then put it into your database? If that's the case, then totally look at Zapier to handle that for you. One of the main reasons that we use Zapier is they have this Zapier email farser. I don't know if I said that right, but what happens is you get an email from realtor.com. You get an email from a lead coming in from your company website. You get a lead coming in from classified websites like Craigslist. You get a lead from your own personal website. Well, what happens is all those leads go to one email, but then you have to take those leads and put them into your database. Well, what this does is it will take all those leads, scrape the data, and then put it into whatever database you want. Awesome. So I shared with how you can do realtor.ca or in realtor.com, Craigslist, Kijiji, anything you have where you get leads coming in and you have to copy and paste and put them into a proper follow-up plan, you can automate that. So another example would be all the emails that you scrape, automatically add them to a Google Doc. Now you'll have an Excel sheet of all the emails, where they came from, their name, phone number, email, the source of business, and you can track that, and it's just going to automatically continually grow that part of the database. And I mean, Google Docs is free, so you might as well have that as a backup. If you're using Evernote, the same thing. You can say any of the internet leads I get, I want to put into Evernote or into my Contactually. That's how I set mine up, is when all the leads come in, it will scrape it and then put them into Contactually. So I'll skip those ones. Now, this is a piece of paper. If you don't have a database, you actually can use this to follow up and never drop a lead. And it's really interesting. When I first got into the business, this is what I used. It was a piece of paper and a binder system. And then once I got into a database, at that time, 8 years ago, it was Top Producer, and I started dropping the ball on my leads. Now, how did that happen? Well, Top Producer and most databases, it just wasn't intriguing for me to log in and do the follow-up. But with this paper system, I never dropped one. So I want to share with you, if you don't even want to use the database, but you're not following up with your leads, this is one thing that you can do, and I'm going to give you this as a template. It's a Word document, and you can change it and edit it to make your own. So let's zoom in and take a closer look. On this piece of paper, I can capture a contact's name, phone number, email, their address, and the source of where it came from. I can quickly find out if they're buying. So I would say I work Oshawa, Whitby, Ajax, Pickering, Bowmanville, Curtis, Brooklyn, or all of Durham. So when I'm on the phone with somebody, I can quickly just circle off. They're looking in Oshawa and Whitby for a 3-bedroom, semi-detached home under $250,000. And I can just quickly circle and check off and make all the notes on their buying criteria. During that conversation, I would be scripting them on the qualifying questions. So if you were to move, when did you want to move by? Have you ever talked to a lender about financing? Do you own or are you currently renting? If they say renting, when is the lease up? If they say own, do they need to sell? If they say yes, they need to sell, then we move to the selling box. And I say, okay, well, was it ever listed on the MLS? Because if it was, I don't have to take that 5 to 10 minutes to get all the information about the property. I've already got it. I just have to go to the database to get it. So if they say yes, then I would say, okay, perfect. So have you done anything to significantly increase the value or decrease the value? That's the only question I have to ask, because everything else is going to be the same. Now, after I get all that information, I would put it into a binder, and the very first piece of paper I called was ID number 1. The second piece of paper, ID number 2. And I put them in order, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Over on the left of the binder was a calendar of the year, and I would just write in, okay, so if I talk to this person today and they say they're going away on holidays and they'll be back in 2 weeks. Well, in 2 weeks, I would just write page number 3. Or maybe at the beginning of the month, you'll just say, okay, I got to call pages 1, page 34, page 76, and page 72, for example. Then you'll just, at the beginning of the month, pull out all those pieces of paper, make the phone calls, and then change the next call date to whatever is appropriate. How are you ever going to drop a follow-up call doing this system? You never will. It's impossible unless you don't do it. So this is a free way that you can actually follow up with leads if you don't have a database. We also use this. This is a template that I'll give you. Our contacts, your contacts, the consumers buying and selling real estate, many of them don't have business cards. And the value isn't in you giving out your card. You have to be in the contact capture business, because this is a contact sport. So everybody you bump into, these are perforated business cards that you can get at Staples or any business supply store. And on the back we have name, phone number, cell, email, and address. On the other side, we have all the buying stuff, so I can quickly circle Oshawa, Whitby, 2-bedroom, condo apartment under whatever price, and any notes. It is surprising if you bump into somebody and give them this card that they'll give you all the information. However, if you bump into somebody and say, okay, what's your email and phone number, you'll get that, but are you really asking for the address at the same time? Probably not. So this is an easy way for you to get that information. Even leave copies of it in your wallet, in your car, and at your office. That way when you get a phone call, instead of writing it down on a scrap piece of paper, you can just write it down on this card and then stick it back in your wallet, because this is money. This is where your business grows. It's the initial contacts that you gather throughout the week. So this is a Word document as well. That's a template, and you can change the back of the card and the front of the card. And this is just an easy way for you to capture contacts without giving out your business card and getting more information. I'm going to skip Fiverr. It's not too important. Another problem. My website gets traffic, but I'm not getting leads or fresh contacts. Okay, well, if you actually have traffic on your website, you absolutely need to look at Sumome. So if you just Google search Sumome, it's totally free, and they have a couple different options. One is a scroll box, and that is when people are on your blog, for example, you can tell it if they scroll down to the third part where my call to action is, pop open with this opt-in box. So give them time to read your blog and then pop open with this. So that's free. You can use that. The smart bar is another good one. It goes at the top of your website. It is on every page, and it allows people to opt into your monthly newsletter. You can do that as a call to action as well. You can say to get an updated report on house values and search homes that match your criteria, opt in here. And they're just going to give their email, and then it'll have an auto reply that says, okay, tell us about your property, or tell us what you're looking for. And in their own words, they're going to reply back to the email. Now let me share with you, so this is an example of what the smart bar looks like. You can change the color. So here's a pink one, a blue one, a white one, purple, red, black, blue, yellow. You can have it go with the theme of your website. You can change all the wording, what's said. So instead of saying subscribe now, it can say get the house value, local house values now, or whatever. And this is the one I use. So this is their screenshot. I didn't pick this, so sorry if it's offensive, but this is the one that actually gets us the most opt-ins. And this is the smart, which one is it? List Builder. Okay, so this one, sorry, I had to go back to it. So this one is called the list builder. And what happens with the list builder is it tracks the movements of the people on your website. So if they're on your website and they move their mouse up to hit the X button, the back button, or change the URL, this will pop open a message. And you can customize it to be a buyer message or a seller message, but these people are already leaving your website. So this pop-up isn't going to hit everybody that comes to your website while they're on it. It's going to pop open when they're already on their way out the door, and this is like a last-ditch effort to try and get their info. We're getting 1 to 3 a day, and this is free just by adding this. You can create a rule that says if the person sees this message, never show it again, or show it every 2 months or every 6 months or whatever. So it's not going to be every time they come to the website and leave, it won't pop open. You can create those rules. So if you have traffic, this is going to be the biggest one that gets you most of the free leads. And then the other tool by Sumome is this sharing button. Literally, once you get this put on your website, every page is going to have this sharing button. And it's mobile friendly, so it will work on iPhones as well as PCs. It's one-click install, and now you have an easy, really nice, attractive way for people to share your content. Now, if you have a website, I want to take a look at how we actually drive traffic and convert leads. So if you're getting traffic to your website, but you're not actually getting internet leads, take a look at this formula we use. So I'll back up. This is a screenshot of the entire website. When I zoom in, this is all that people see when they get to the page, and they'd have to scroll down to see the rest. So this is the most valuable real estate. If you're doing a paid ad on Google or a paid ad on Facebook driving people to a landing page, the very first thing they see up here has to be the reason they clicked it. So if you did a pay-per-click ad on investment property for sale in your city, well, the very first wording up at the top has to be the topic that you already know they're looking at. Show them a map of the area that you serve. That way it relates to them, meaning, oh, this is what I'm looking for and it's in my area. Over on the right, we'll put all the other main keywords that the people would be searching just to reinforce with them that they found what they're looking for. We include a video on every page that has a form because we want to explain to the people the benefits of why they're going to fill in the form and what they're going to get out of it and how to do it. When the people scroll down, this is the opt-in where they can actually fill in on that form. Over on the right, we have a picture, and it just has the word of what we already know they were looking for, again, to reinforce that they found what they're looking for. However, underneath, we have related. So this one up here was a investing page. Well, maybe a person's looking to invest in townhomes. So if we paid for this ad, they landed on our investing page, and they're not going to fill in the form, if they scroll down, they might actually have interest in house values, or they might have interest in townhomes, and those are our other landing pages. So we cross-promote all of our landing pages to each other, because it just gives you a broader safety net where you'll have the opportunity to capture more people with the same budget of what you're already spending. So another problem. I still only get a small percentage of people who actually fill in the forms. Okay, well, if that's the case, you can use Google remarketing. So if you Google search Google remarketing, that will share with you a little more about how it works, but I'll tell you right now. You can say, if a person comes to my website, tag them so that I can market to them in the future. So let's take that a little deeper. You can say, visitors of a particular web page. So you can tag everybody who lands on your CMA page or your house values page, for example, and you'll tag them as a seller. And then for the next 540 days, if you want, you can target those people on Google to bring them back. What's really powerful about this is if you look at the internet stats of when an internet lead comes in today, when are they ready to actually buy or sell? 6 months, 8 months, 18 months? It's quite a ways away. So what this does is it builds a list of all the sellers. And then for 540 days, you'll be able to leverage that. So in the spring market, you can target all the people who looked at my house value page and bring them back with a spring update on the house values in your area. You can get really technical with it and say visitors of a page who did not visit another page. So for example, how we use this is we say we want to tag all the people who visit our house value page who did not see our thank you page, meaning we did not capture their contact info. These are the people I'm going to bring back, not the people who visited our page, because it's going to be a mix of everybody who looked at the page and filled in a form. With this second option, now we're only targeting the people that we didn't capture the first time. So I'm going to skip that and give you a complete picture on the list building ideas. So say you have a house value page on your website. You're going to tell Google Remarketing, tag everybody who comes to this page. Anybody who visits this page, we want the Google Remarketing tag. If a person fills in the form on that page, we want to put them into your database under the seller category. And now we also tag them that they filled in the form. Now going forward, next spring, I can create an ad on Google that is going to be a display banner that is going to target them on YouTube, and it's going to target them on all the major blogs. Anywhere there's display advertising during the spring market, we can create a campaign that brings all the people interested in selling back. And then you just rinse and repeat. Do the same thing for your investment property page or your bungalow page or whatever niches that you want to focus on. Maybe luxury real estate, for example. So I'm going to, at the bottom of this video is going to be a link, and it's going to be a link that gives you access to get, if you want to get Zapier, it's free already. You can just go to Zapier and get it. But if you use the link that we have, you get 100 free tasks per month. So just go to the link below. It's brokeragenation.com/get started. And that is going to have all of the links to the programs that I talk about so that you can get your accounts all set up and all the bonuses that you get along with that. If you have any issues, just reach out to me on social media. You can also go to our website, brokeragenation.com or danwood.ca, and either way there's a contact us, and that will go right to me. So if you have questions, reach out to me. Thank you.